ASMR, a daily one with an interesting topic. Coffee. Well, yes, coffee. Well, I don't know so many people that doesn't like coffee, so just a few of them. But for me, it's like a culture. Well, I cannot live without a daily coffee, at least 2 cups. Well, depends on the situation and the concentration, but coffee for me, it's like heaven in the morning. So, now let's talk about different types or styles of coffees, recipes around the world. Because regions and countries develop different types of preparing and enjoy it. And let's face it, everybody wants to know how a coffee is prepared in India and how a coffee is prepared in Turkey, right? Good. Perfect. Let's start first with the most renowned one, I think, the Italian espresso. Everybody knows and heard about Italian espresso style coffee. That short one, very hard. Description: it's a very concentrated coffee. By forcing hot water under pressure through the finely coffee beans. The characteristic is very strong coffee and served in small amount, 30 milliliters. There are some sub-derivation like espresso macchiato, cappuccino or latte. Depends on the ingredients. The most renowned one, coffee espresso. So if you want to wake up from a very hard sleep, just drink in the morning an espresso and you will be fresh. Well, now we're going to France next. So first Italian espresso. Now we're going to France. And we have café du lait. Café du lait. It's like the name says in French, a coffee that it's mixed with milk. The characteristic are it's balanced, creamy, and typically served in a large bowl. It resembles like the American cup. It tastes very good and goes very good with a fresh baked croissant with butter or with chocolate. Perfect combination. Café du lait from France. Café du lait from France. Next. The famous Turkish coffee. Turkish coffee served in Turkey and Middle East. Well, there is fine ground coffee boiled in water with sugar, and it's often served unfiltered. Wow, and it's very strong one. It's rich and thick. It's a thick coffee with ground settling on the bottom. Wow. Often spiced with cardamom. Very strong coffee. Often served in very small shots or cubes, like a little bit larger than the espresso. But Turkish coffee must be served directly without any other ingredients like milk or sugar. For me, it's very strong. I think it's stronger than the espresso, but also has a different kind of flavor. And it's from Arabica coffee mostly. And also the tradition in Turkey is to boil the coffee in sand, in very hot sand, and this will give the coffee a very interesting flavor, unique one. So if you want to try Turkish coffee, I can guarantee you're gonna like it. if you're a coffee enthusiast. Coffee enthusiast, so good. This one was the third. What we have here next? Well, the next coffee type of coffee, it's from Cuba. Well, we're gonna cross the Atlantic, and we arrive in Cuba. Well, in Cuba they have Café Cubano, right? It's an espresso more likely, with sugar and with during the brewing process, making it a little bit sweeter. It is sweet, strong, and served in small cups. And it's very enjoyed with a pinch of espuma, or sweet fruity foam from milk. Yes, Café Cubano. I didn't try Café Cubano. Well, so next, flat white in New Zealand and Australia. What is flat white? Well, this type of coffee or style, it's similar to latte, café de latte in French, but with a higher ratio of coffee to milk. So more coffee and less milk. It's creamy, smooth, and typically, because it's with milk, it's with microfoam from the milk on top. And it's served in smaller cups. We return in the Americas, and next it's Café de Olla in Mexico. Café de Olla. So it's a brewed coffee sweetened with piloncillo. It's unrefined cane sugar and spiced with cinnamon with cinnamon. Well, it's aromatic, sweet, and traditionally it's brewed in a clay pot. Well, this reminds me of the Turkish coffee, which is not brewed. It's boiled in sand pot. Now something unusual for us, the Western ones and Europeans, the Vietnamese iced coffee. Yes, in Vietnam, iced coffee, it's a tradition, so interesting. What is iced coffee? So, it's strong coffee brewed with a metal drip filter, sweetened, condensed with milk, and served over ice. Interesting. It's the characteristic, the flavor, it's intense, sweet, and refreshing. Wow, interesting. So sometimes I drink coffee with unboiled water or cold water, but I use soluble coffee like Nescafe or instant coffee, and it's very nice. It has a good taste. For example, if you prepare it with cold water, but it must be the demanding part is that must be necessarily instant coffee. Also, instant coffee goes very nice with a fine soda juice because it makes it like a frappe. Very foamy and very nice, and you can feel like you're gonna drink a soda with a taste of coffee. Very interesting, so you should try. Irish coffee next. Irish coffee, yes, Irish. Ireland, the Irish people have their own coffee. Well, it's a cocktail of hot coffee, Irish whiskey. Why I'm not surprised. Whiskey, sugar, and topped with cream. So this became some sort of alcoholic beverage. whiskey could taste like, and also with sugar. But if you have whiskey, whiskey has sugar, and top with cream. Cream, I think it's what kind of cream? It's very unusual, but it could be interesting, right? Characteristic, it's rich, warm, and boozy. Well, actually, in Ireland, it's a very nice cold evenings and post-dinner drink beverage. So, if you don't have whiskey, or if you want to combine the both, like whiskey and coffee, just make an Irish coffee and you have both in the same cup. Alright, so this one is done. Next. Greek coffee. Yes, next, Greek coffee. It's a cocktail hot coffee. It's similar to Turkish coffee. Finely ground beans are boiled with water and sugar, so the classic recipe. It's think strong and unfiltered coffee. It's served in a briki. Well, briki means a small cup or pot. Greek coffee. In Greece, well, I drank when I was in Greece, I drank, if I remember correctly, in Zakynthos. Especially Greek coffee. I don't know if it was a special recipe from that region, from that island, or just Greek coffee, but it was nice and tasty. Strong, I can say it was strong. So Greek coffee next. In Spain we have cortado. Well, cortado is Spain espresso, but it's cut with small amount of milk to reduce acidity. Strong with creamy balance, similar than café de lait, but more milk than macchiato. Some sort of between. Right. Cortado in Spain, I didn't know about this cortado. Well, I drank coffee in Spain, but I don't know if it was cortado. Well, right. Good. Next one. It's Pariser. Well, it's not from Paris. It's from Germany. Pariser. It's a coffee mixed with rum and topped with cream. Well, again, even the Germans have transformed the coffee in an alcoholic beverage. And it's sweet, boozy, or of course it has alcohol, it must be boozy. And it's not very strong. But this type of style of coffee is associated with North Frisian region of Germany. That has some sense because the winter are longer and harsher than in the south, and they need something rich with caffeine and also alcohol to warm you up, right? Pariser in Germany. Right, next, it's Massacran in Portugal and Algeria. Massacran or Massacran. It's a cold coffee beverage, often mixed with lemon or rum. Again, another alcoholic beverage. It's light, refreshing, and tangy nice, interesting flavor. I think they got. And because it's cold, because it's a cold coffee, it's named and titled iced coffee. Well, doesn't mean it has ice in it. It's more like a generic name. And it seems that this mazagran is one of the earliest forms of iced coffee. So, correct. And right. Now, because we are in the Iberian Peninsula, we're gonna return to Spain. And the next it's Café Bombón in Spain. Well, Café Bombón, it's a small glass of espresso mixed with equal amount of milk and coffee. It's equal amount. Characteristic, it's sweet, creamy and strong. Interesting. Go. What's next? Let's see. Well, now we go to the northern, in the Scandinavian peninsula. Kaffeost. I'm not sure that I pronounce it correctly. Kaffeost. Kaffeost, Sweden, Finland. It's hot coffee poured with. It's now pay attention because this is quite interesting style and recipe. This Kaffeost, it's hot coffee poured over with chunks of lepajuusto, a Finnish cheese. Lepajuusto. It's coffee with cheese in it. Sounds weird, right? It has a distinct flavor, I bet that. But here it's the trick. Those chunks of cheese dropped in the hot coffee, they will absorb the coffee, and the cheese is eaten. After that, after you drink the coffee, the chunk of cheese remains at the bottom and they are filled with coffee and they are very tasty. I should try that. But I don't know how lepajuusto. I cannot find lepajuusto in Romania. That specific type of cheese. Because you cannot drop any type of cheese because you're gonna make something a mess or something that it's undrinkable. Right, so Kaffeost. And now we have the American coffee, Americano. Well, do you know that the Italians gave this name, that Americano coffee, because it's an espresso diluted with hot water and served in the large cups and mostly with milk. And it's less intense than straight espresso, but it's stronger than a drip coffee. So that's why it's Americano. Yes, when I lived in US, almost all the coffee that I drank there were coffees with milk, with a lot of milk, with like large cups of coffee with insane amount of milk. It's like drinking milk with coffee, not coffee with milk. You know what I mean, right? Okay. So now next, in South Korea. Next, it's South Korea. Dalgona coffee, South Korea. What is Dalgona coffee? It's whipped coffee mixed with instant coffee, sugar and hot water in a fruity foam, served with milk. What's something? It's like a interesting combination. Coffee with mixed coffee. Well, the characteristics are sweety, fruity, and creamy, but it was popularized in Asia during the COVID-19 pandemic and is iced or hot, so no middle stage, iced or hot, servable. Next coffee, it's frappe. Well, frappe, it's in Greece mostly iced coffee made from instant coffee, water and sugar, shaken to create a froth. It's cool, refreshing and fruity. Like I said, I made my own frappe, but I use to make it frothy and to make it foamy, I use a soda-like beverage like Coke or Fanta or so on, mixed with coffee, and it will make a very nice big foam. Very tasty, and I add sugar on it. And the last one, it's from Italy again. Caffè lungo. Long coffee. Well, it's espresso brewed with more water for a longer extraction time. It's milder than espresso but more bitter to do the longer extraction. Well, espresso is the small size, caffè lungo is more, but it's more diluted, so espresso is the stronger one and caffè lungo it's the weaker one, milder one. You know, every machine coffee has like 3 or 4 generic. Whenever you buy or you're gonna drink coffee from a coffee machine, there are at least 3 buttons. There are espresso, caffè du lait, and the third one is caffè americano or lungo. So these 3 are the most generic ones, so you're gonna not miss them when you prepare your own coffee. Good. So again, we are at the end, and we make a circle around the world in different types of cultures to see how the coffee is prepared. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, drop some comments below, and even you can please write down your opinions related to the subject. And of course, if you want future subject, just make some requests. Thank you very much for watching, and until tomorrow, which is the next time when we're gonna see each other, I wish you the best.